Oh my god, why do I do this to myself every year? It's May 6th, 2026, and it's once again time for the WrestleCord News Break. My name is Ryan, and I will bring you some of the latest headlines in the world of pro wrestling and MMA. Please don't mind my demeanor this morning, folks. It's been a long night. Didn't get a lot of sleep. I think it had something to do with the temperature swing. Last night on NXT, we learned what the new name for the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion Evil would be. And there it is, folks, on the screen. You try to pronounce it because I don't care to. Evil was a better name anyway, but just for some sense of journalistic integrity, I did discover that his new name roughly translates to hell. That's actually pretty cool. In more NXT action, Jada Parker was defeated by Kelly Armstrong with her dizzyingly stupid Cali Connection finisher, which involves Armstrong doing more running the ropes than a rookie in wrestling school. That girl really knows how to go coast to coast, if you know what I mean. I don't, so please let me know in the comments. This loss was not taken lightly by Jada Parker, who would take her frustrations out on her own locker room, just making a mess she's going to have to clean up later. I guess it's true. Jada can't do anything right. Jasper Troy took on Jackson Drake. It was during this match I realized Booker T must be commenting with a gag in his mouth, which did leave me questioning what exactly are the stipulations in those new WWE contracts. Jackson Drake was able to pick up the win here over Jasper thanks to some assistance from the Vanity Project. Despite a match full of interference and big momentum changer was a body slam on the floor by Michael Lockwood. This gave Jackson Drake the opportunity to capitalize and get that 1-2-3. Watch out, Becky Lynch. I think you might have some strong competition when it comes to manhandling. You know, folks, these names, Jasper Troy, Jackson Drake, Jada Parker, Michael Lockwood, sound a lot like something out of an early 2000s teen drama. I guess it's quite fitting they ended up on the CW network. Zarya would cut an in-ring promo that quickly turned into an impromptu party, which saw interruptions from North American champion Tatum Paxley, newcomer Lizzie Rain, and finally, stealing the show for the night, Nikita Multimedia. Zarya clearly didn't appreciate having her short amount of promo time cut, as she would end up dismantling all the party crashers, once again being the last woman standing. Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana, the current AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, took on Izzy Dame and Nico Vance. In the end, the reptile style of Iguana wasn't enough to get his team the win, as it was Izzy Dame getting a pinfall victory over the NXT Women's World Champion, Lola Vice. We had some conflict going on within Dark State during tag team action that saw Cutler James and Osiris Griffin versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Despite the disruption, Cutler and Osiris were still able to pick up the win when Cutler pinned Hank after a tandem powerbomb. It wouldn't take long to see what role Emily Agard would play in the NXT brand as she interviewed Keanu Carver, referring to herself as an NXT correspondent. Sounds professional, right? Yet this interview was anything but, as she randomly met Carver outside the Performance Center and then conducted what could only be called a hack job. If you like interviews from the perspective of an ant, you'll love this one. Is this the type of professionalism she was taught by Sportsnet? Send her back. To Carver's credit, this was good mic work. I mean, he is smart as shit. For real. Tony D'Angelo would become the victim of a backstage attack by Cam Hendricks that looked like it was filmed by Paul Greengrass. If you don't know, folks, look it up. Despite the assault, the NXT champion was in fact able to make it to the ring later in the night for his main event match with Tavion Heights. D'Angelo looked good in this one despite being jumped earlier. I think the drywall got it worse than he did. Booker T couldn't help but repeat the term bad break, referencing Tony's backstage misfortunes. Book, stop trying to make bad break happen. It's not going to happen. A good break is what Tony would end up with at the end of this match, as Cam Hendricks and Miles Bourne would serve as enough of a distraction for Tavion to allow D'Angelo to hit a chokeslam and get the pin. After the main event, we would see the NXT champion jump for the second week in a row by Will Cruz, who, after getting his rocks off by beating up a dude from behind, decided to make sure we all were aware that his new name is Mason Rook. What an exciting way to end this week's episode of NXT. How riveting. Just to remind you folks, those results were in no particular order, so don't blame me if you can't follow along. CNN founder Ted Turner has died at the age of 87. Turner was integral in changing the landscape of professional wrestling by purchasing Jim Tucker Promotions and turning it into the always beloved and never maligned World Championship Wrestling. I'm sure Time Warner Discovery HBO Plus Max will be crippled without him. In MMA news, Charles Oliveira has signed a new contract with the UFC for 8 more fights. Oliveira is the current BMF champion, a very prestigious title with a long lineage and not simply a lame excuse to shoehorn in title fights. Nobody mentioned this scheme to Tony Khan. AEW has enough titles as it is. Let's close out today's news break with a quick preview of tonight's big Dynamite and Collision 3-hour special. The show will be taking place live from North Charleston, South Carolina, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight's big show is headlined by Darby Allin defending his AEW World title when he takes on the TNT champion Kevin Knight. This will be Darby's 3rd defense of the world title in so many weeks. I think it's likely we're going to hear some bitching and moaning from MJF over this one. In tag team action, we get Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander going up against Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron. Some bad blood and lots of tension involved in this one, folks. It'll be interesting to see if Stat and Shida can make it out of this one with their team intact. A Continental title eliminator match, yes, another one of those. We'll see Jon Moxley take on Juice Robinson. The temperature between the Death Riders and the Bang Bang Gang has been rising in the last few weeks. Hopefully the two factions can let cooler heads prevail and stay away from ringside, thus ensuring they don't violate the wonderful sanctity of the much lauded and celebrated Unified Championship. Nope. My apologies, folks. I meant the Continental title. How could I make that mistake? Also announced for tonight is the Double Jeopardy match pitting Orange Cassidy against Dax Harwood. If Orange wins, he and any member of the conglomeration can challenge FTR for the World Tag Team straps. But if Dax the Axe wins, then FTR and Tommaso Ciampa will get a shot at the Trios titles. Sounds like the making of a fun 3-hour show. 4 matches. Yeah. And with that, folks, we come to the end of the WrestleCord news break. I'm Ryan, signing off, hoping to see you all again tomorrow.